Hey there, and welcome to my channel, The Paper Bag Investor. In today's video, I want to talk about GameStop, AMC, Reddit, and Robinhood. What is going on with the market here? This has been such an interesting story over the last few days. So in this video, I want to cover history of how we got here, quick explanation of short selling, quick explanation of short squeezing, why, in my opinion, this retail Reddit-fueled short squeezing is good for the market, and why Robinhood and other brokers that have halted trading is bad for the market overall. So let's get into it. History of how we got here, okay? This is the history that I dug up. Haven't been following this for this entire time. But back in September 2019, this is on Reddit, Wall Street Bets, a member named Deep Effin' Value posted about making call options for GameStop for January 15th, 2021 at $8 a share. He did this again and again and again. And it seems he genuinely felt the company was undervalued. And he was mocked at first on Wall Street Bets, but was deeply rewarded as the stock price grew, and he continued to double down on his options again and again and again. And actually, by October 2020, his options were worth about $600,000. By September, about $1 million, and start of this year, about $3.1 million. Okay, and then at this point, the stock shares were also shorted more than 100%. It is possible, I'll discuss short selling in a moment, but it is possible to be shorted more than 100%. I mean, you could have almost infinite percent shorted in theoretically. And Reddit users caught on to this legend of this Deep Effin' Value guy, this Reddit user, and his kind of story from September 2019 till this year. And they started piling into the stock, seeing that it was so heavily shorted, looking to create a short squeeze. And what is shorting a stock? What is a short squeeze? Quick history, or a quick lesson or explanation. Really simple explanation of what this means. To short a stock means you borrow a share of a stock, and then you immediately, as you borrow that share, you sell it to someone else with the explanation or the expectation that the stock will fall. So say a stock is worth $100, you borrow one share and you instantly sell it to somebody else for $100. So you get $100. If the price falls, you buy that share back from the markets. Maybe it goes down to $80. You buy it back at $80, and then you give back the share that you originally borrowed, and then you end up pocketing the difference. So in that case, it'd be $20. But if the price rises, and in that case that I want to mention too, you could have infinite amount of shorted shares. It wouldn't really happen. Brokers wouldn't allow that many shares to be borrowed and shorted. It wouldn't really happen. But if every single share that was available was borrowed by somebody and then lent to somebody else, and then more people borrowed those shares and lent them to other people, you could have a whole stack of people that are owing shares to somebody else. But okay, in this case though, if the price is, if people are short a stock and the price rises, at some point your broker and that coordinated the share that was lent to you will want that share debt repaid. And if many people are short one stock all at once and the stock rises, they all need to repay their borrowed shares, and it causes a short squeeze where you suddenly have a bunch of buying pressure on the stock, and you have a bunch of desperate people suddenly trying to repay their loan, and they're all trying to buy shares all at one time. It can make a stock price suddenly surge. So it's actually quite dangerous. It can be shorting a stock. Okay, so that's kind of shorting and short squeeze in a nutshell. But the prices on these heavily shorted stocks, GameStop, AMC, they've gone crazy in the last few days. I'm sure you've been following this and seen some of the ridiculous movements they've been having. And the hedge funds that were heavily shorted in these companies have lots to lose, as short selling also carries a kind of a theoretical risk of infinite losses. If you go long on a stock, you're buying to hold for gains over time. You can only lose your entire investment. There's a fixed loss, but there's the theoretical infinite upside. Short selling is the opposite, where you have a fixed amount you can gain. The company could go bankrupt and you could gain everything you immediately got when you shorted the stock. But also the stock could go to infinity or go super high, and you could have, in theory, kind of an infinite loss. So it's quite dangerous. And now, why this retail fueled short squeezing is good for the market, in my opinion. I want to give some thoughts on this. People that have large platforms and voices have tremendous advantage in the stock market. Consider a hedge fund that manages hundreds of millions of dollars. They could start a short position, a large short position in a stock, and then release notice that they are doing so and stoke fears and uncertainty about the company. Could even go on CNBC or other platforms to communicate that broadly. And whether their analysis is actually fundamentally good or bad, or a good argument or not, the market will often react just because of the size and the voice that they have. Well, they'll react at least temporarily to their announcement, and prices will fall. This gives them opportunity to cover their short position and immediately take profit. People do the same thing, maybe doing a pump and dump, where they're trying to buy shares, really promote the stock, quietly buy shares, really promote the stock, and then as soon as the stock starts to rise, they start selling. Even YouTubers will do this to really penny stocks, right? As their channel gets enough attention and size, they could do this. These retail investors have the ability, these Reddit investors, to organize themselves, and they can combat stocks that are heavily shorted in this way. So I think this is why it's actually a good thing for the market that this is actually happening, because it can prevent these large funds from shorting stocks so heavily, as there would be this healthy fear that the market could take advantage of that and squeeze them. Now, I also want to discuss why Robinhood and other brokers that halted trading, I believe, is bad for the market, which happened on Thursday, January 28th. Robinhood and other retail-friendly brokers halted all trading of these stocks. There's even reports that Robinhood automatically closed positions for investors at market prices. So I'm sure many retail investors lost thousands of dollars, even tens of thousands of dollars, maybe even hundreds or thousands or millions, I'm not sure, in these restricted transactions. And I'm sure there's going to be lawsuits filed through this. It's unclear. It seems plausible, but these large hedge funds had the most to lose. Maybe they had enough influence and maybe even threatened these brokers or threatened them with lawsuits to restrict trading. Maybe they just fell into that or obliged to that. And then, of course, as trading stopped, the price has fallen. I'm sure a lot of these short sellers are covering their positions, just as the price has fallen down dramatically since trading was stopped on a lot of brokers. Personally, I really believe ultimately in the free market as much as possible, and halting buying or selling of these companies I think is really, really terrible, because I really do think it could be a good thing for the market in a sort of a checks and balance situation. And now that they've cut that out, I hope we get more information, more to the bottom of this, and why that decision was really made. And if the lawsuits need to be made, or people need to go to prison even, I hope that happens, because I think that'd be better for the market overall if that's the just thing to do. What do you think about all this? I'd love to hear what you guys think. Let me know in the comments down below. It's still a story that's unfolding. It's really crazy. If you got value out of this, consider sharing it with someone else you think might also get value, and also consider subscribing. Hit that subscribe button down below. Hit the thumbs up while you're at it. I really appreciate that, and helps the YouTube algorithm, helps my channel grow. Thank you for watching. I will see you in my next video. Cheers.